Yeah, man.
All right, well, how you doing, mate?
All good, lad. I'm good. I'm alive, so I can't complain.
So what happened with the Prague card anyways?
Obviously, lad, in the end, never made it to the fight with the injuries, lad. It was a bit of a tough camp, to be honest, lad. It was just setback after setback, and then I tore my hamstring, and then I hurt it closer to the fight, sparring, and then after that, the coaches just said, "Look, lad, we'd be stupid to let you go and fight, lad, because I'm one of them. I could
Yeah.
have no arm, lad. I'm still looking to get in there, me, bro. But that's why you need good people around you, lad, because you'd end up losing fights that you would win.
Well, you're looking to reboot that fight as well. You're
I'd
moving on.
personally, I'd happily run it back. Obviously, he pulled out the first time, I pulled out the second time, so this would be the third
Even.
time now trying to make it. But I don't know if that's what Octagon wants. I don't know if they got something else in mind. I know it was the last fight on his contract, so I was hearing. So I don't know if he's even still here or not, or I don't know. So let's see.
Yeah. So what happens after you win your next fight then? What are you looking at to do? Because obviously you should have been at Octagon in Prague, but things happen.
As it stands now, I've got two fights left on my contract. So hopefully this year, lad, I can run through them fights in the early part of the year, and then the owners can sit down with me management and we can talk what's next, innit? Or at least even after the next one, we can have that conversation. Because obviously, having that conversation with no fights on your contract would be a risky move, wouldn't it, on their part? So I'm assuming after the next one, that's the next conversation, lad, innit?
So Lazen Keita as well. He just became the champion. Obviously, I was going to ask you about Ronald Paradeza. I think that's how you say it. I'm not very good with names. I was
Yeah.
going to ask you about him, but now I've got to ask you about Lazen Keita. So, how do you think you had a match up with him?
Oh, how do I match up with him?
Yeah.
Lad, I'm his kryptonite. He knows I'm his kryptonite. Ask him. He'll tell you. Long, rangy, big for the weight class. I can strike with strikers. I can wrestle with wrestlers. But then I've got world class level jiu-jitsu. Like we all know what his weakness is. He's a good fighter. I won't say he's not, because I'd be a liar, lad. But we know, lad, once it gets to the mat and his back's on the floor, he ain't looking the greatest. And I put people there every single fight. I put third, fourth degree black belts there. Like I'm a different level on the ground, lad, and I think he knows that. But that's what makes fighting fun, innit? I think I'll beat him. He thinks he'll beat me.
Only
Let's
one
see.
way to find out.
Yeah, exactly, lad.
So, how long left are you on your injury? Like, how many weeks left of
Um,
rehab?
I'm past the rehab stage now. I'm back on the mats and that. I still work with me strength and conditioning coach and my physiotherapist, but now we're focused on loading it up, putting it through the paces, getting back to normal training. In the beginning, I'm doing more hands. I'm not kicking as much. I'm not wrestling at all. Where now I'm back to the point where like I can kick with it. I can wrestle. I've done some grappling rounds today. I've done some MMA sparring the other day. So I'd say I'm 95%, 90%. It's just I want to be 100% to go through a 10, 12 week camp. I don't want to get through 8 weeks of camp and go, fuck, it's gone again.
Yeah, I
So
get you.
that's why I'm testing it now.
So, what card do you think you want to be on? Are you looking at Dusseldorf, or do you think that's too early?
I don't really know the countries and what cards. I can just say what dates I think I'd be good to go, and I think April, March should be perfect for me. They offered me something in February, but it was a bit too soon with still rehabbing the injury. I was in Brazil. When I would have come back, it would have only given me like just over 6 weeks or something. I wanna be able to fully hit the ground running.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to in your downtime then, since you couldn't train full time?
Nothing changes, lad. Nothing changes. Like people think that I don't know. Like I've got this great, amazing lifestyle or something, bro. I'm in the gym 3 times a day, every day, and if I'm injured, then I'm training around it. I'm still doing all my physio work. I'm still doing my cardio. I'm still studying my sport. I'm just doing what I can do rather than crying about what I can't do, innit? Nothing changes for me, lad. I'm a boring cunt, lad, but that's probably why I'm a good fighter, lad. I'm obsessed.
Always in the gym.
Yeah.
So you said you have 2 fights left on your contract. So are you eyeing up the UFC at all? Because obviously you've got a few people from your gym who are now in the UFC. And obviously you train with UFC fighters.
Everyone's going to the UFC on my
Be...
side now, aren't they, lad? Like, as it stands, I'm an Oktagon fighter and I'm happy to be an Oktagon fighter. And until the UFC come and put an official offer on the table, it's not even in my mind, lad. I'm focusing on what's in front of me and what I can fucking touch and reach. If the UFC come with something, then cool, we'll assess it. But as it stands right now, Dana White ain't never rang my phone, lad, so...
That's mad. I thought you'd at least be on his radar or something by now.
Maybe I am, lad. I don't know. He's not going to tell me, is he, lad?
Never know. Where am I on my questions? I'm getting a bit... My mind's going a bit sideways. Nathan Fletcher got announced to fight Keelan Loughran.
So is that
Banging.
announced now?
That's announced.
Is it, lad? I knew, but I just couldn't, lad, to fight that, innit?
It's mad. It's a rematch as well.
I don't know why you want to
goes?
see the rematch after the first one, but I'm happy Nathan's got this fight, lad. If Loughran loses, lad, it'd be a tough time in the UFC for him now, lad. There'd be a good few on the bounce, innit?
I seen him at 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think that fight goes?
I think Nathan just dominates him everywhere the fight goes. I think he wrestle fucks him like he did the first time, and this time I think he gets a finish. I think Nathan's too skilled.
Every time I see Nathan.
Tiny lad, his arms don't fucking go nowhere.
So how do you match up with Nathan in the gym? Does he compete with you in the jiu-jitsu department? So do you think your jiu-jitsu's on UFC caliber?
I know my jiu-jitsu's on UFC caliber, lad. There's man in the UFC who are blue belts, lad. Canal, bro. Do you know what I mean? Jiu-jitsu's another thing, lad. The sport's MMA, innit? If you want to speak about jiu-jitsu, then if you compare me to MMA fighters, lad, I'm cream of the crop. But Nathan, they don't call him the Southport Strangler for nothing, lad. Nathan's very, very good, well-rounded grappler. Not jiu-jitsu, grappler, because he can wrestle well. He's got great submissions. He can pin well. He transitions through positions very well. Nathan's up there with the best of them, like... but he's not just a grappler, he can actually box as well. Like, Nathan's very well-rounded. And it's good that we've got people on the mats like this to train with every single day. Obviously, me and Nathan are 2 weight classes apart, so to compare us competitively is ridiculous. But skill set-wise, Nathan's as good as anyone in the gym.
I've noticed that Liverpool's coming quite like the hotbed for combat sports. Like the amount of fighters you guys have coming out of your gyms, like you had Darren Till, you've had Paddy the Baddy, you've got you got Nathan, you got Nick Ball, you've got all sorts. It's like strange because you'd assume it'd be London with like how big the population in London is. But like the amount of good fighters coming out of Liverpool is just mad.
Fighting, lad, you need heart. When you talk about heart, you talk about the Northwest, you talk about Ireland, you talk about the Scottish, you talk about, lad, we're just hard working, gritty, fucking, lad, we just naturally breed it because we have to live it every single day. No disrespect to Londoners, lad, because I'm not to say like you can't be from London and be a dog or be a hard worker or be a grafter, but
Us Northerners are harder.
Yeah, they're just not like us, lad.
Never will be. So Paddy the Baddy's coming back as well, and the performance he put on in Manchester was mad. Like the improvements he's made from the Gordon fight to the Bobby Green fight, when you have to look at him, it feels like people are starting to take him seriously as well. So what do you see in Paddy now that you train with him?
I don't see nothing different in the Paddy that fought Jared Gordon to the Paddy now, because I get to see what he does every single day and spar him 2 times a week. Fucking, what have I been here now? 3 years. So I knew how good he was then. It's just sometimes styles make fights. Is it? Yeah, he torn a ligament in the first few fucking minutes of that fight as well against Jared Gordon. You can't get a bonus every single fight. So I get it. Like sometimes styles, it is what it is. But I knew like I've trained with a lot of people in a lot of different places. I'm lucky where I've got to travel. I knew like from the first few times of training with him, lad, that he's a world class athlete and that he belongs in the UFC. And now I guess he's proven it, lad, isn't he? He's fucking submitting guys who have never been submitted in how many years and getting linked to the biggest names in the UFC to fighting them. If you look at the followers on the social media, he's got more followers than some of the champions. Like, I don't think all this is by accident. I think you can be a great talker and you can look the part, but at the end of the day, lad, if you can't fight, you're never going to be the guy. And he's one of them, he can actually fight. So the other stuff, lad, is just a bonus for him, innit?
So you're around a lot of good fighters as well. So who would you say some prospects are that might be flying under the radar? Some people that you think are really good that we haven't been putting onto yet?
I don't really like to call people prospects because sometimes I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful. I can name some guys who are under the
Some
radar.
fighters
They've paid the
that are under
dues
the
just
radar.
as much as I have. Like, if I was to say Connor Wilson, he's had as many fights as I have, but he's under the radar a little bit. But I wouldn't call him a prospect because he's as experienced as I am, if not more, lad. He's got more rounds than me. He's probably better than me if you talk about well-rounded skill set. Fucking Francis Breen as well. He's another one coming through. Obviously, George Staines as well, who's on Octagon with me. I'd like to name some other people outside of me, Jim, where I'm watching the sport so much that I always see guys and I think, wow, he's going to be good in.
Who
Like
sticks out at you?
your Connor Walsh, your Curtis Campbells, your Max Lallies. You caught me off guard here, but there's lad right now on the scene, bro. There's a good few people popping off, lad, and it just shows how far UK MMA's come and Irish MMA's come in the years, lad.
Yeah. So for people who might not be aware, you spent 9 years on the run for a crime that you didn't commit. Could you sum up the Shamrock story in a few sentences?
In a few sentences.
In a paragraph?
Fucking hell, you're asking me to do more words. I wanted less words.
Less words. Sum it up however's easier. Different. We'll go one word.
I'm different. The life I've lived different. People have heard the story a million times. They know what it is, innit? But that's not even 10% of the story. I'll just say different.
Different. You've traveled the world and you've been all different countries. So where would you say is the best place to train that you've been to that isn't Liverpool?
I was going to say Liverpool.
Yeah, I knew you were.
I like Ireland, you know, lad. I do like Ireland, lad. The people are just, lad, I just feel like I'm in Liverpool, lad, when I'm in Dublin, do you know what I mean? The training's good. I miss training with Collie and all the lads. There's good level of jiu-jitsu there. There's good level of MMA there. There's good boxing gyms there. But I think training in the sun puts the training a little bit on another level. When you're in the heat, you're in the sun. So I'd say between Dublin and Thailand and Malaysia, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between them three. For the people and for the training, I love Dublin. But for the weather, the lifestyle, the food, then I'd put the tropical up there.
Have you came up Newcastle before training?
Lad, I've been to Newcastle once for Oktagon, when Oktagon done the show there. But I've never trained in Newcastle, lad, no.
Because we got some decent gyms. Because I go to SBG and we've got like Team Fish Tank in Sunderland. That's not too far from Newcastle. There's some really good gyms up here.
That's where I would go. I think I would have went to Sunderland if I was going to train.
To TFT, where Mick Parkin and Phil are. Yeah. What do you think of Mick Parkin?
Lad, he's a beast, isn't he? He's a machine, lad. Yeah.
It's nice seeing people from the northeast come up.
Lad, it's nice seeing people who you can relate to come up. It doesn't matter where they're from, lad. And when you hear certain people speak and you go, lad, he's one of us in. It's good to see them do well, lad. You feel like you're doing well almost through them, innit?
Because you feel like if they can achieve something, you feel like you can.
Definitely, lad, innit?
So he also competed on the Singapore regional scene. Am I right in saying that?
MMA or jiu-jitsu, what are we talking here?
You do both?
I've fought jiu-jitsu loads of times in Singapore. I've done ADCC Singapore. I've done Duma. I've done loads in Singapore, lad, but I don't think I've fought MMA.
No
I've never
MMA.
fought MMA.
I didn't know. It's that you did. You competed.
Maybe you think of Malaysia, lad. I fought in Malaysia. Fought in...
That's it. I think that's what I meant. Yeah, Malaysia.
Yeah. 1 sec, lad. I'm just getting my charger, lad. My battery's about to die.
No worries.
Yeah, Malaysia, brother.
Malaysia.
Go on, finish the question.
So you competed on the Malaysian regional scene. How did you find that?
Obviously, everyone's got to start somewhere and have a path to come up, and Malaysia was kind of my first home, lad, for in my martial arts career. I loved Malaysia, lad. I'd happily go back to Malaysia, but obviously I'm in Liverpool for the high level training. I wouldn't mind one day when I'm done with fighting, maybe living in Malaysia, living in Thailand. It's a nice part of the world. I got to train with so many different people from different countries and different cultures and experience different ways of life, and it made me the man who I am today a little bit, lad. Grew me as a person, lad. You're on the map with all different fucking nationalities, and it was good, lad. It was a good time, and I've made some real friends and teammates for life. And I always think all the time, like, oh, I'd love to go back to them days, but at the same time, lad, I'm happy where I am now as well.
Yeah. I think you said as well just before that you trained in Thailand. Did you ever visit Bang Tao?
Bang Tao weren't about when I was there, lad. Bang Tao's new.
Is it?
Yeah, Bang
Sound
Tao's
like Mickey
new.
Mouse there. Go for it. That's mad. Was it Tiger Muay Thai available there?
Yeah, it was Tiger Muay Thai, Phuket top team. There was a lot of lad. You go on that strip and there's just a million gyms, isn't there, lad? Bang Tao's a bit new. Phuket's not there no more.
So, all right,
Phuket
I'm
top.
gonna throw a curveball at you. Misfits boxing. Got Darren Till was meant to fight Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
He pulled out because he thought he was going to get head kicked, and now he's fighting Anthony Taylor. What do you think about Darren Till transitioning to boxing?
Um, I think Darren's obviously already a striker. Before he fought MMA, he's obviously had a bit of a Muay Thai career, fought Muay Thai. He's another one a bit like myself where he's like travelled about and been around and that. I think transitioning to boxing, now he's in a boxing gym, focusing solely on boxing. Already with a striking background, it's going to be easy for him to just make the little adjustments to become a boxer. And the level of guys you're comparing him to, you're not talking about Canelo and fucking all these, fucking Bivol and all these, man. You're talking about influencers. Lad, he could come off the couch and beat them. Like, I don't see anyone in that kind of influencer boxing world giving him any trouble other than maybe a juiced up Jake Paul, lad. And even then, I wouldn't bet against that until.
Yeah, I don't think I would bet against Darren Till fight influencers. The only thing I worry about is obviously like these influencers who are putting the time in. Obviously, like when it comes down to these martial arts, it's always time in that kind of pays the most. So I'm not sure if like Anthony Taylor could hug him to a decision or something. That's my only worry for a Darren Till fight.
Lad, look at
Obviously,
Anthony Taylor's MMA career. He used to fight at what weight class, lad?
lightweight.
Lad, he's tiny, bro. Darren Till's a big middleweight, you know. He's going to drill a hole through his head. But you know why he's not asked? Because he's getting paid, bro. If he was getting paid MMA money, lad, he'd go, nah, I'm not fighting Darren Till. Are you mad? But, lad, when you see these decent paychecks, they go, lad, I'm in big gloves. I can take a knee. I can get a count. I can go back to the corner. Like, it's a sport. It's not a real fucking straightener. And that's why Darren just laughs at all these guys, because he's come from a real fucking fight to now having a sport. It's not the same, bro, and that's why these men are willing to fight him, lad, because they're just getting a payday, aren't they?
How do you think you would have held up against Tommy Fury?
Darren,
Yeah.
you'd punch him up, I think. And Darren knew that. I don't think he pulled out. Tommy knew that. I don't think he pulled out because he thought he was going to get head kicked. because you just put it in your contract. If he head kicks me, I get 100% of his purse. And now you're saying, please head kick me. I'll go home twice as rich. He didn't fight because he knew, lad, he was going to lose, bro. If it wasn't that, he would have pulled out with a hand injury, lad, wouldn't he? Oh, broke my hand. Oh, I can't fight. He knew, lad.
Yeah. So what fights are you looking forward to coming up
This year,
this year?
well, you've already mentioned Fletcher. That's a big one. I'm looking forward to Molly fighting against, what's the bird's name? She used to be in one championship. That's a
Being
big fight.
announced.
Yeah, it's announced. Yeah, it's announced. It's on UFC London. Who else am I looking forward to this year? Obviously, Paddy. What's going to happen with Paddy? Obviously, everyone's flirting. Is he fighting BSD? Is he fighting Chandler? Is he fighting Moicano? So I'm looking forward to see who he locks in with and who they actually step in the cage with. Whether it's any of them three, it's a big,
They're not
big
got
step
anything
up.
signed yet.
Maybe they have, lad. I wouldn't tell me, lad, because I'll tell a journalist. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see where Paddy goes, who he gets. I can see him making a good run to the title after his next win. I'm looking forward to seeing Lerone Murphy fight again in the UFC. I'm looking forward to see what Oban Elliott does this year. I'm looking forward to see Luke Riley make his debut in the UFC. I'm looking forward to all of the lads in next gen, Adam Cullen, see what's up next. UFC or another win on Cage Warriors fight for the belt. It's an exciting year this year, lad, because the end of last year was good for all of this scene. So next year's going to build on that, isn't it, lad?
Be really good, yeah. What else have I got? Oh, there's one last thing. Who do you get told you look like?
Don't look like anyone, do I, lad? I'm just a mad mongrel and mixed bloods, lad. One day I look Arab, next day I shave, I look white. Sometimes I think I look black. I'm just me, lad. Sometimes I'm just looking like a homeless guy, to be honest, lad. Who do you think I look like?
That's why I asked you, because it was bothering me. Like you look like somebody famous, but I can't picture the name, and it's like bothering me. So I'm like getting distracted when I'm reading the questions because I can't think who it is in my head, and it won't
Watch,
settle.
lad. We'll put the phone down, lad, and you'll go, that's who he looks like.
It will be as soon as I hit end, I'll know exactly.
Yeah. Who do you look like?
I get Arnold Allen. I get
Yeah,
Ed
a little
Sheeran.
bit. No.
I get Ed Sheeran. Thank God. Thank God you said that. And I get Ro Reynolds from Enter Shikari.
I don't know who that is.
Golf band.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time anyways. It was good speaking to you. I look
Thanks,
forward
lad.
to see what you do next.
Yeah, man.
So, take care, mate. I'll see you later.
See you later, lad.